Hi, and welcome back to DS Tech Mirror. This channel is dedicated to deliver content related to SharePoint Online customizations. This video is a part of React video tutorial series, and in this video, we are going to explore more on building forms. In any real-time examples, in order to get inputs from the users, we use forms. And today, with React, we can see how we are going to use these forms in order to collect user information and process them. We are now going to create forms using React. And for that, I am going back to the React app that we have been creating and building from the first video of this video series. It is the DS Shopping Cart React app. And on the right hand side, you can see the output of the React application. Now, in order to implement the concept of forms, I would like to have a button over here, which will be my sign up button. So on click of that button, I would present the customer with a form having fields like name, email, and phone. On click of the submit, the customer will be alerted that he has signed up, and there will be a message displaying the customer's name and mentioning that, okay, now you are signed in. Okay, so this is the plan, and let's start building this form. So in order to build a form, I have to have a sign up button, and I'm planning to have it somewhere around here, which is on top of my products JS file, products component. So I'm going to choose app.js, and here you have the other components over here. So I want it to be present above the products app, and I'm gonna add a component which is my sign up component. Okay, I have not created the sign up component yet, so it will throw me an error. Okay, now let me develop a sign up component, which is a new file under my components folder, signup.js. Okay, so let's do the drill. Import React yes, the import functions are done. Now export default class sign up extends. By this time, these rituals will be on your fingertips. Once you start a file, you'll be creating all this, and you'll be very much familiar with the initial structure of the component. Right. Component, and yes. And like the structure says, I should have a constructor, props, and the first thing I should have inside my constructor is the super constructor call. Fine. Now we will be having states. Okay, I'm not defining any state right now, I'm just defining the structure. Post this, we'll be having our functions or methods. Here we have a render method. And inside that, we will be having a return statement. So this is the basic structure. And in this structure, as I told you, inside the form, I want to collect the user information, and that information would be name, email, and phone. So I'll be having name, email, let's have contact information or mobile, whatever it is, Okay, fine. Let me save it. Done. Now, right. So inside render, what I will do, I would like to have a button first. So let me include a form element in order to hold all my element values inside this so that I can use it in the return statement directly. I can use this variable inside the return statement. And remember, always my form elements, maybe it is a name field, text field, buttons, all those fields need not be visible every time. So when I capture all these HTML structure inside an element, I can toggle it whether I want to display it or not. So that is a wonderful thing over here. So I am declaring and defining it. Now, in order to have the toggle function, just as we did over here, like you see toggle, I'm going to implement some kind of a toggle over here. Let me call it as form status. Form status, and this will be initially false. Now, why am I having this form status? So initially, I'll be having a button over here. So I need to display only the button and not the elements of the form. So I'm going to introduce this form status, a Boolean variable, so that I will understand if this variable is false. If this parameter is false, I will not be displaying the form element. And if it is true, I'll be displaying the form element. So this is the similar thing that we have done in the toggle function. Okay. Here, if form status, this dot form state dot form status. Okay, if this is true, then our form element would be let me build this return react.fragment, and inside that I'll be having a button type equal to button and id equal to btn sign up. Okay, and it should be having sign up. Now for now, let's save it and check it. It will not come because what we have done in our app.js, we have included this particular statement, but we have not imported it. So let us import also sign up from components. Okay, there is errors, button is not defined. There is some kind of a syntax error. Okay, yeah. So be careful with the typos. Fine. Did we get a button? Yes, we got a button. Right now, this button does not have any function associated with it. But yes, we got a button. So what do I want? When I click on sign up, I would want a form to appear. Okay, in that form, I need the three input variables which we have declared in the state variable. Okay, so here let us build this. So form element inside the double braces, you have to create div element. Yes, let me have it over here. Okay, inside this div element, I'll be having a label, its name, and label would be name. Save. And input type equal to text. Okay, and if you want, you can add a placeholder, enter name. Okay, let me expand this so that will be easier for us to view. Okay, enter name, and this is the input. So similarly, I have to have it for email and for one for the mobile number, which is the contact information. So let me change this. Email ID, fine, and this will be contact number, this will be mobile, this will be mobile again, and this will be mobile, enter contact number. Okay, now let me save it. There is some error. There is an expression error. The thing is, it requires one parent element. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to place everything in another div. Yeah, now it's done. Fine. Now I have this form ready. So right now what will I do? Here button we have, okay, here after this button I'll be having this form element. Let me break for aesthetics. Further, you can add any CSS and you can beautify the form later as you wish. Fine. Now, here if this dot.state.form status is true, only then the form element will take this kind of structure. So here we'll have an else, and if the form status is false, then I'm going to make this as empty again. Okay, now let's save it. Let's check. Okay, let me check this. Yes. Now see, my name, email, contact information has come over here. but my form status is false. I have initialized form status as a string variable and not as a boolean. Now you can see the form got disappeared. But still it is not appearing because we have not added any logic behind this sign up button. So let's do that. Here on click, remember about the typo. It is quite different from HTML on click. This dot enable form. Okay. Let me have it about the render method. I'll be having the functions over here. So enable form. This is an arrow function. And in this enable form, I only need to set the form status from false to yes. So this dot set state form status true. Or if you want to make it as a toggle method, you know what to do. Here you have to add a variable flag equal to get the current status, form status, and here you should have not a flag, which is the opposite of flag. So if the form status is true, then it will set the form status as false. It can do the reverse also because it is doing the toggle functionality over here. Okay. Now that is okay. It is not a real-time project. See, now I have added this toggle method. If you don't want toggle and if you want only one functionality, that is on click of the sign up, the form should be visible. You want only one type of functionality, then that is okay. You can have this method. Only this, this statement. And also I'll show you. Right now, I'll just ignore this toggle functionality. I'll show you something else also. So I'm making true. Okay. On click of the sign up button, I want the form to be visible, but I want the sign up button to be disabled or it should disappear. So for that, similar to what we have done before in the previous videos, I'm gonna get the element of the button. The ID was btn sign up. Okay, and to this style dot display equal to none. Fine. Now what is going to happen when we click this button, sign up button? The form status is becoming true, which results in the form element being displayed to us, and then the sign up button goes as none. Okay, I'm saving it. Let's check the result. Now we have a sign up button. On clicking this, the sign up button got disappeared. I've got the form as well. I've got the placeholders on the form as well. Okay, right, cool. Now, this form is missing a submit button. We'll be adding a submit button, and on click of the submit button, the user or the customer should be alerted, like say, thank you for signing up with us. Okay, and then when he clicks OK, I want this form to disappear and I want a message to happen like, hi XYZ, you are now signed in. Simple. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna add a button, submit button over here. So this is the parent div. I'm gonna add it over here. Here, a button for submit. Okay. Now, this button type equal to now here you can see it is a form element, but we have not having any concept of form here. This is a simple HTML div elements with div input IDs, input parameters, okay, sorry, input elements, and we are receiving. And again, we'll be having a button over here. So where this form concept comes. So instead of this parent div, we are going to make the child div elements or the child elements as a form element. How can we do that? We have something called a form element, okay, and this is form, and here we are going to have it form. Now, why we are having form and not some HTML structure, though the visual impact is the same? The thing is, when you submit a form or the event-related operations that happens in a form is quite different from the normal div elements. So that's why we prefer form when we need a requirement, when we have a requirement like gathering input from the customer or the user and to process it. Okay, that's why we go in for a form element. Okay, now here are we having a button type, it's submit, ID, submit again, btn submit, and submit. Okay, so now I'm not going to add on-click functionality over here. On-click equal to, not a custom function I'm going to call. So I'm going to use on-submit option of the form. So here, on-submit, right? So in normal HTML, the button will be having an on-click functionality. Here we'll be having an on submit functionality over the button. We will be calling a submit method. Let's call it as handle submit, right? Fine. Now let us handle this submit. Here we have handle submit, okay, handle submit, and in this handle submit, what should I do? I need an alert message. Alert then I'm going to make my form element as the form status as false again. So this dot set state of form status false. So I'm not going to toggle over here because I'm straight away putting it as false, right? And what else? Okay, I need a message to be displayed, right? So this is the form element. I need a message. So let me create another variable for after submit message. Okay, and submit status. For this I have to have a submit status. Just as we had a form status, let me have a submit status. Sub status. Let me be more clear. Submit status is false, right? The same thing, the same toggling effect I have to do it over here. If this dot state dot submit status equal to submit status, if this is true, then my after message would be Okay, hi, and I would be calling this dot state dot name. Hi, you are now signed in. Okay, done. Else it will be same thing. Else it will be an empty string. After sub equal to empty string. Fine. Now overall we got a structure, but the main thing is pending. We have got this input element, but we have to add some kind of change event towards it. Otherwise, it will still display the placeholder name only. So on change, I'm going to call handle. Okay, handle name field. Handle name field, and this would be this dot handle name field. Similarly here it would be on change this dot handle email field. Let me copy this. For contact information, mobile field. Done. Now let me create the respective functions over here. Handle name field equal to arrow function. Okay. Now this is simple because we are just gonna set the state of name. Here we are going to capture the value that is being the cause of the trigger. Fine. So this is event dot target dot value. Fine. Yes. Similarly, we are going to create other functions, and I am going to rename this as handle email, and this is handle mobile, and this will be my email, and this will be my mobile. Fine. In all the three cases, the value will be the same, like event.target.value, but the event, the actual trigger, will differentiate the input text box from where the event was triggered. Right? Now let us check our... Okay, we are getting an error. Why? Because here we should have event. Let's check. Yes. So we are passing, we have to pass the event as the props. By default, on change functions will be passing the event, and we have to have it as a parameter over here. Fine, now it's gone. Going back to the code, let us handle the submit. So in the handle method, we have to do one small change over here. Okay, so since the form has a submit, an inbuilt submit functionality, and even if we have called this handle submit function from the form, we are overriding the inbuilt functionality. Okay, so for that we have to write a method, call a method to prevent the default functionality or the default submit logic. Event dot prevent default. Fine. So on click of the submit button, I'll be having like event.prevent default, and here I'll be having hi. Thanks for signing up with us. Fine. Right. Let's check. And same mistake. Fine. In this. Fine. Submit. Hi, thanks for signing up with us. As soon as I click OK, this particular message has to come. But we have not enabled this message yet. So let's add the same setting statement over here. And this would be our submit status, and that should be true. Now let me save it and refresh. Yes. On clicking of the sign up button, I got the form. Let me type the name, email, and on click of the submit, I'm getting the alert, and after I click OK, I'm also getting the after submit message along with the name that we have typed on the input form. So this is a simple form, guys, and here if you have noticed that we are not doing any validation on our email or on our phone number. Okay, so this is a simple form, and this is how we create a simple form with React. So guys, this marks the end of a milestone in mastering React. We have learned the React from the basics, explored its structure, and explored the life cycle of React. We have seen many more information. You can always refer to it from our previous video repositories. Looking forward to explore more advanced features of React and build in more complex real-life applications. Exciting, right? Yes. Thanks for all your support, and please stay tuned. You can contact us through email, Facebook, and Twitter. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Till then, much love, keep learning.